What was it like without the internet and social media wave? I was raised with the beginning of the internet. I did not have an iPhone growing up. I didn't have a phone until high school, so I'm right at the beginning of the internet and social media wave. I did play outside a lot. I wasn't allowed to play video games even though they were out. I played in the outside, so I went in the, I live by Lake Chabot, which is a recreational park, and so I was able to go outside and play with sticks and stones and normal things like that.
What was everything like before social media? I believe everything was better. I think kids were out more, kids were doing stuff, kids were active. Now we all sit on our phones and we all have excuses not to hang with each other. So I think the world was a better place without social media and the internet.
Well, most people, like today, you kind of hide behind it, but without it, you had to actually go up and shake someone's hand to meet someone. You couldn't just send a impersonal email to someone or a text and hope they respond and see did they get it or not. You actually had to go up to someone to meet someone.
Most of my time spent on the internet is using Netflix to watch movies and TV shows, and I also email, so that is both mostly personal and professional. I use it for my art career as well as starting with teaching. Emailing is a very huge thing. I also use Instagram most frequently, specifically because of the marketing aspect that is behind it, but I also just enjoy the social media of Instagram.
I spend most of my time currently on TikTok. It's kind of unfortunate, but I got really famous, so I'm kind of addicted to the app currently, and I'm trying to get more content and become actually TikTok famous.
I think it started with businesses, and then it's developed to what people like, and then society has promoted the good and the bad, of it. But I think they try to focus on the good, especially the companies involved, and they try to hush up the negative parts of it, so everyone thinks it's all good.
Social media has played a huge role within the internet structure because it's providing opportunity for people to socialize through digital format, and I think that's something very new. It has affected me kind of, like I said, in both positive and negative ways. It instigates me to be a little bit more antisocial, but also I am social with people that I would never be able to speak to in person. I'm talking to them through social media. So I think there's maybe a different framework that needs to happen in our minds of, is it useful or is it just wasting time?
I think social media's played a huge role because everyone now has access to it, and it connects people all around the world. I have people that follow me from Germany and Brazil and Great Britain, where in the past you couldn't do such a thing. So I think it's been overall a coming together thing more than anything.
I think we all are in how we use it. I think it's a personal thing as well as, if you're publicly kind of using it in a negative way, that's also bringing other people in. But I think it is a personal thing. I think we can all waste 3 hours watching Facebook videos and Reddit, but is that really a useful use of our time? I think it's impersonal. So we're to blame and in control of it, I think.
I think people on social media who are to blame for its negative consequences are just the people who are like trolls and bullies, and the kids who just bully other kids just for the fun of it and to show their friends and such. I think it's very negative.
Who's to blame for the negative influences would probably, I think the companies are mainly to blame, the ones and the people running them. I think if they would have set it up right from the beginning, then you wouldn't have had all the negative impacts from it because it would have been outlawed from the get-go.
What we can do about the problems that exist within social media is to communicate and actually learn from what's happening around us and how it's being used, not just say that this is how it's being used and it is being used in a negative way, but let's start changing that conversation and actually implement it into our own personal life. So don't waste time or don't use it negatively for yourself, and that will hopefully push on to other people.
I think to help the problems of social media, we could enforce more strict guidelines and censorship, in a sense, to help create a more friendly platform.
I would scrap it and start all over. That's got so bad. You know, like the internet, it was originally just supposed to be used for the government in case there was a nuclear war, so they could communicate with each other. You know, so if they would have stuck to that, you know, there'd be no social media, no internet for the common person. It'd just be for basically like the president and the CIA. I think if you scrap it and have it heavily regulated by the government, then I think it would take all the things that people do illegally or negative towards it away.